In 2024, which are better, fiance or spouse cases? Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. In today's video, we're going to talk about the options that couples have when the foreign national is overseas and they're trying to decide between filing an I-129F petition for a fiance or an I-130 petition for an alien relative, i.e. a spouse. So when you find yourself in that circumstance, there's a lot of misinformation going around on the web. In the old days, fiance cases were very, very quick. I often cite the case of a Bosnian couple where we filed an I-129F and we had the fiance in our office 60 days after we filed the I-129F. In other words, the whole case got processed at USCIS, went through the National Visa Center and to the embassy and approved and visa issued, and the person made it to St. Louis from Bosnia all in 60 days. That was the good old days, and those days seem like ancient memories. So the idea that fiance cases are faster now than spouses, that is over. That hasn't been true for about 2 years. So if you're thinking that you're going to file a fiance case because you believe it to be faster than an I-130, that belief is mistaken. The truth is that I-130s are actually going a little faster right now than spouse cases. So USCIS takes about a year to process an I-129F or a I-130, especially for I-130s away. And that's what we're talking about in this video. So if you know that the time at USCIS is going to be basically the same, then the whole thing comes down to which cases are being processed faster by the State Department. Because remember, with any visa for a spouse or fiance, what you're talking about are two different agencies. First, USCIS has to approve the relationship and say that they believe that it's valid and that it wasn't being entered into for purposes of getting an immigration benefit, but rather because the couple was in love. And then they send it on to the National Visa Center / the State Department for further processing. And that is where the visa to come to the United States is actually issued. You sort of start all over with a whole new agency. You provide them a lot of the same information again. And then once the State Department is satisfied, then they issue the visa. And right now, spouse case visas are going faster than fiance case visas. So the good old days are gone. Fiance cases aren't faster, but there's a bigger reason why you should go the marriage route instead of the fiance route if you can. Now, I understand that some people aren't going to be able to go get physically married, but they have seen each other in the last 2 years. If that's the case, then go ahead with the fiance case. If there are other reasons why you want to do a fiance case, in other words, you don't want to get married right away and you want them to come to the United States and see if it's the kind of thing that you like and you want to proceed and get married, then that's a good thing and you can go ahead and do it for those reasons. But don't do it for speed, and you don't do it for this big reason. The fiance cases have an expiration date. So when USCIS approves an I-129F, that comes with an expiration date. Now, the State Department very, very rarely completes its processing of that fiance petition in the amount allotted in the deadline. In other words, usually they're good for 4 months, and usually it takes the State Department longer than 4 months to process it. And the State Department has the power to extend the I-129F and to continue processing it. But they also have the power to stop doing that. They can choose not to do that. And when they decide that, you're sort of screwed. Your case is over. It's sent back to USCIS, and you're basically having to start over. At that point, if that happened to someone that we were working with, we would tell them to go ahead and get married and then start the I-130 process. So if you know there's an outside chance, it's a small chance, maybe 1 out of 80 cases this happens on. You might have that happen to you, though, and then you have to start all over. So why would you take that risk? If you have the option to get married and file an I-130, I believe the State Department looks at the case more strongly and thinks that the case is a better case. So you're going to put yourself in a much better position to have your loved one here in the United States through the I-130 process versus the I-129F process. That's especially true in 2024, where the processing of fiance cases at the embassies are really low on their list of priorities. So at the present time, our current advice here in 2024 is to go the marriage route if you can. We hope you found this video helpful. If you did, leave us a comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd love to have you subscribe. We also have a great YouTube live show that I do a couple times a week. If you subscribe, click the bell, you'll get alerted whenever we go live on the channel. You can also text the word show to 314-470-3300 to find out when I'm going to go live next. We also push the show into our free Facebook group. We have over 12,000 members there. Those are immigrants who care about the immigration process. It's called Immigrant Home. We'd love to have you join us there. If you're thinking about hiring us, give us a call at 314-961-8200 or email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. Finally, you can find us on TikTok at Hacking Immigration. Hope all is well, and we'll see you next time.